That's the comfort test. The next test that Abraham and Sarah went through is called the patience test. Will I wait on God's timing? So God had promised Abraham a nation through which he would bless all nations. Only problem is Sarah, his wife, was barren. She couldn't have kids. How in the world are they going to have a nation if they can't have one child, right? And then besides that, when they left Ur, Abraham was 75 years old. Not exactly the most fertile years, okay? And in fact, in Hebrews, I love how they put it. It says Abraham was as good as dead. Meaning, it'd still be 4,000 years before Viagra is even invented, right? And so Abraham's dead, Sarah's barren. How are they going to have a nation? And yet they trusted. And they went. And then they get to the land and they have to wait. And they wait and they wait, and year after year, and no son. And Abraham gets frustrated with God. You ever been frustrated with God? Look at what Abraham says. Genesis 15, O sovereign Lord, what good are all your blessings when I don't even have a son? You've given me no descendants of my own, and one of my own servants will be my heir. The Lord said to him, No, your servant will not be your heir. You will have a son of your own who will be your heir. And then the Lord took Abraham outside and said to him, Look up in the sky and count the stars if you can. That's how many descendants you will have. So God even takes Abraham and reassures him. But after the reassurance, he still makes him wait years and years and years. And finally, it's been 10 years since they got to the land, and they still don't have a son. And so they get impatient and decide to give God a hand. So here it is, Genesis 16. Sarah said to Abraham, The Lord has prevented me from having children. Go sleep with my servant Hagar. Perhaps I can have children through her. Abraham agreed. She didn't have to tell him twice. Abraham sleeps with Hagar, his wife's Egyptian maid, and has a son, Ishmael. And when Ishmael is born, jealousy and infighting break out and continue for many generations. They failed the patience test. And what you need to understand is that had consequences. They failed the patience test, and as a result, it hurt them and their relationships, but it also hurt subsequent generations. After 13 years, though, God comes to Abraham again. Now, God had been silent another 13 years after Ishmael had been born, maybe due to their impatience. And he's like, well, you're going to have to wait longer. I don't know. But God comes to Abraham and he says, next year you'll have a son. Sarah overhears it and bursts out laughing. She's like, yeah, right. But the next year, Isaac is born. Isaac, the name means laughter. They named him Laughter because of God's faithfulness